Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 3, Episode 12. So let's get to it, shall we? So the show opens where it left off last week, which was with Robyn and Gizelle, better known as the Green-Eyed Monsters, looking for Karen. They gonna tell her something. Giselle tells us that Karen doesn't even know that she and Sherman have broken up. So the fact that she would invite Kendall to something like this, knowing Giselle would be there, is just being extra messy. And it shows that she's not a real friend. So they come in, they make a beeline for Karen. You know, they want to pull her to the side. They don't want to cause a scene at her event. Karen ain't got time for the bullshit.
Giselle, what are you doing and why?
They tell her they want to talk to her and they don't want to do it in front of her guests.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. We are not going to do this. Security. Listen, I want you to get rid of them. Get rid of them. They are not welcome because their hearts are not in the right place.
She was like, these bitches and came in here with these raggedy ass jeans on, knowing that it's a charity dinner. Get rid of their ass. I was so glad she did it. If they ever trying to cause a scene at something. I mean, this is a damn charity event for Alzheimer's. If you ain't got respect for Karen, at least have it for her damn mama. So, you know, Karen got rid of them with the quickness. Get rid of them. Go on and go. I thought the shit was hilarious. And it was funny because they really didn't get to have their moment. So now they got to have their moment outside. They still out there discussing. Giselle tells us that she used to getting kicked out of events. That don't mean nothing to her. Well, then, if you're getting kicked out of events, that should tell you something. When the last time y'all been kicked out of a party? Well, some of y'all. I know some of y'all. Ashley comes out. She wants to know what's going on. Charisse also joins them. And this was another one of those rare occasions when I was on Charisse's side. I said, child, we can't have too many more days like this. Charisse was just like, why the fuck does Robyn keep on letting Giselle amp her up? I wonder if people sit back and watch the episodes like, you know, Robyn and see that she's being controlled. Because it's obvious that Giselle likes to keep shit going. So Charisse is listening to them, you know, talk about Karen, and then they try to take her to task on the fact that she didn't come to Robyn's event, that she did Monique's event, you know, instead. The mean girl antics. Charisse was like, bitch, you guys not fixing to do this to me today. I ain't got time for it. Y'all can sit here and argue amongst yourselves, but I'm going back inside. I was like, thank you, Charisse. Let them bitches stay out there and be miserable by themselves. So inside the dinner, Karen gets up. She says a speech about, you know, Alzheimer's, how she thanks everybody, you know, her mother. This is what it's in honor of, you know, and they hoping that they'll get a cure for Alzheimer's. Okay. She has Carson. You guys remember Carson. What's his name? Carson. You guys know who I'm talking about, though. He's the MC for the night, and it actually looked like it was a very successful event. Now, when everybody is sitting at the table, of course, Karen is not at the table, but all the rest of the girls, okay, there's more discussion about where this money is going. Monique says that the money is going to Icon Enterprises, and that Karen, from what she understands, Karen is going to write a big check based on what the donations are to Icon Enterprises, and then she will then put one big check towards the O. Huger Alzheimer's charity fund or whatever it is. And they think that's a little bit shady. I mean, are you putting this money in your pocket? Why don't you have a foundation that's set up, an actual legal foundation, so that we know that this money is going to the right place? Oh, well. They gonna go on and do it anyway. Well, if you ain't got no fucking problem, you're gonna do it anyway, then why are you complaining? Michael's sitting there with Ashley, and he was like, Icon Enterprises, huh? Yeah, that sounds about right. Icon Enterprises. But bump. I did see on Twitter last night, Bondi asked somebody if they knew how much money was raised at this charity event, and they said that Monique did tweet that Karen did donate the money from that, and also that Karen paid for the event. So I guess Monique realized her shadiness and all of that and tried to correct it. So there you go. Now we see Candace. She's at home as usual working on this wedding. And Chris comes in. He's hoping that she's cutting away at that budget. They're about $100,000 from the mama, $20,000 from the daddy, and $20,000 between Chris and Candace. Now, I don't have to be Shanae to add up where the numbers don't come in correctly here. I mean, listen, I'm all for big weddings. I love a big wedding, but I feel like you should be able to afford this big wedding. If you can't, then you're going to have to dumb it down for your pocketbook. Now, $100,000, $140,000 wedding to me sounds like it is nice and big. So I don't understand why you can't tailor it down, especially when you cannot afford to put more in. It's real nice if mommy and daddy can put this money in, but if they can't do it, they can't do it. But Candace's heart is still set on it. She needs some more money. She calls her dad, and her dad is a doctor, and she tells us that the dad has always been there for her, even if he and the mom hadn't been together. So she's hoping with this call that he will put a little bit more in. Okay. Make a long story short, daddy was like, no, baby, you gonna have to deal with this 20,000. Your mom already asked me for 50, and I was just like, I'm not doing it. That's very extravagant, and I agree. So Candace was a little molded, scratched her neck. She's gonna have to try to figure out something else. Chris is telling her, listen, we're gonna have to cut it. We're gonna have to cut somewhere. These 400 people, maybe we can't have that many. And she's getting irritated. She's getting mad. She feels like he's not being supportive. He's not listening. This is what she wants. So she's like, you know what? Just stop talking to me before we get into a fight. I said, ooh, spoiled much. What world does Candace live in again? I mean, it's so strange. Sometimes she seems like she has all the sense. And then other times, like when it comes to this wedding, she just plain stupid. Now we see Giselle. Giselle tells us that, her favorite thing is she only is working on things that she can control. Okay, she can control her makeup line. She can control her book. She can control her family, her kids and things like that. So that's what she's focusing on. She have her intern come over, and they are working on the logistics for the Congressional Black Caucus, the CBC. It's coming up. She's going to have a booth right there in the front. Okay, she is going to be the featured vendor, and she's excited. I mean, she's going to be in there with Fortune 500 companies. So good for Giselle. All right, I heard that she has makeup in Target. I haven't looked at it, but yeah, sisters are doing it for themselves. Good. Everybody make their money fine. Ashley is calling her uncle, and her uncle is more like her father. She didn't have her father in her life, so her uncle has been the one that she goes to for advice. And she says he's a, straight shoot from the hip, no nonsense kind of guy, and he is the one that usually steers her right. So she calls him, checking in on him. He just went into remission from cancer, so good for uncle. But she's telling him about, the conversation that she and Michael had, and how she felt bad because Michael told her that he didn't want her to be as fucked up to their baby that they might have, that her as her mother was to her. And uncle was like, look, Ashley, Michael full of shit. He don't want no damn kids. He done been there. He done that. The nigga 88 years old. I mean, what the fuck he want to have some more damn kids for? He just wanted to marry you because he wanted the trophy wife. All the shit that we have been saying, all of a sudden the light bulb goes off on Ashley. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, why wouldn't he tell me that from the beginning? Because he probably didn't think that this shit was going to last as long any fucking way. Michael is so done. I'm starting to feel like maybe they just playing it out for the cameras, because Ashley can't be this dense. But for the cameras, Ashley has never even thought about the possibility that Michael wouldn't really want kids with her. Okay, girl. Then we get those two split scenes that Bravo loves to do, Real Housewives franchise loves to do, when we see two sets of people doing the same thing. It kind of gave me the feel that they were setting up alliances. So we got Ashley, Giselle, and Robyn. Okay, they go out to work out. And then we have Karen, Monique, and Candace. They also go out to work out. Talking about Giselle and her group, since she seems to be the ringleader. After they finish working out, Giselle invites them to the CBC. Okay, it's a big deal. She's going to be in the front, yada, yada, yada. Ashley says, well, how do you guys feel about getting kicked out of Karen's event? Like, what happened? As if she wasn't there. Giselle, originally she was upset about the fact that Karen had invited Kendall. Okay, that was what she was going there for originally, right? Okay, well now Giselle is saying how she thinks that Karen is a liar because she doesn't have her foundation properly set up, and that she never explained that. Why do these girls feel like they are owed an explanation every fucking time? Like, You already mad about shit, and now you accusing her from possibly stealing money from people that are donating. So I'm just confused on what the bitch mad at. Are you mad about the money? Or are you mad about Kendall? And speaking of Kendall, Ashley asked her how does she feel about that. Well, Giselle feels like Karen did it to spite her. Yeah, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You've done a lot of things to spite Karen as well, so I guess you know how it feels now. So, Ashley is doing what she does. Giselle is rallying Robyn. Robyn's getting pumped up, more and more mad. While in the middle of them talking, Charisse calls. She calls Robyn because she wants to set up a dinner or something so that they can get, go out to talk about what happened. Robyn wants to have it out right then. I was upset, the way that you acted. And Charisse was like, girl, please, we're not doing that right now. You guys was trying to bully me. And I was not going to let it happen. So I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to go to lunch. So quit trying to talk to me about this shit on this FaceTime right now. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Of course, Giselle and Robyn, the Green-Eyed Monsters, still don't see how they were trying to bully Charisse. But we all were very clear what they was trying to do. Now, jumping over to Karen, Monique, and Candace, Karen tells us,
I just think that Candace and Monique are a breath of fresh air. Because they deal with facts, not fiction. They are just a whole lot of fun.
So they work out. And then afterwards, she tells Monique what happened. Again, as if Monique wasn't there. Karen feels like they bum rushed her.
And listen, it is so disappointing because we all came together for charity. And for them to come to my national event, something that means something to me, all loud in their Liberace jackets, I could not let it happen.
So Karen was just like, bitches, do not come for me. Definitely not here. What was funny, though, is in her confessional, the producers did ask her how much money did she raise. And she was like,
listen, we raised a substantial amount for the Old Hugo Charity Foundation. I never told and I never will, because that is public information. You can go look it up.
Gotta love Karen. And again, as far as Kendall is concerned, Monique says even though she has her issues with Giselle, she would never invite Kendall to something that she knew that Giselle was going to be at. Okay, you just invited her on the show though. But Karen is like, listen, I have known Kendall for 20 years. I am her friend just like I am Giselle's friend, and I can invite her to whatever the fuck I want to. Why would I think that it would be a problem? And again, it's obvious that both Monique and Karen are being shady in this situation. Okay, just call a fucking spade a spade. First, we see Candace and Ashley. And this is one of those instances where I say that Candace actually has a lot of sense, okay? She's peeped out Ashley's game. She realizes that Ashley is different when she's with her as opposed to when she is with the Green-Eyed Monsters. That they obviously make her feel like she's part of the in crowd. So, she just don't trust Ashley as far as she can throw her, okay? As long as it's just the two of them, I guess she can deal. So anyway, they sit down, they talking about, how unrealistic she is about this fucking wedding coming up. And then Ashley tells Candace about the fact that Michael said that she was going to be a fucked up mama because her mama fucked up. Candace was like, girl, really? Maybe it just sounds like you don't want no babies. Ashley was like, oh my goodness. And Candace was like, listen, I'm sorry. Did I overstep? And she was like, no, actually, my uncle told me the same thing. I had no idea. Wink, wink. Ashley tells us that if they don't have any babies, then, her and Michael are not going to be able to continue with this marriage. I said, okay, girl, well, get on with the get on, okay? I guess next season will probably be their divorce. The next lunch that we see, Charisse and Robyn. I don't know why every time I see Robyn's smug face, it irks me. She just has some sort of displeasurable, just something about her aura. Just every time I see her, I'll be like, oh, I want to hit that bitch. But whatever, they sit down and Charisse, trying to be the adult about this, she tells Robyn she is sorry that she didn't come to her event. She wasn't even really clear that it was Robyn's event, and she didn't really know that it meant that much to her. Robyn is sort of like, oh, you didn't, huh? Okay, well, whatever. Even if you didn't know. The fact that we've been friends for much longer, the fact that you would just choose Monique over me. Why does not Robyn understand that first come, first serve? Bitch, you asked me afterwards. I already said I would go to her thing. Wouldn't you be mad if I was already telling you I was going to your thing and then I canceled with you and then I went with somebody else? Why the fuck is that so hard? It's so childish to me. I I just can't understand this concept that she comes up with. Anyway, then she brings up the fact that Monique is using Charisse to be a social climber. And Charisse was like, listen, I done peeped it. I peeped what Monique might be trying to do. Okay, I haven't talked to her because Charisse was pissed with that first Kendall sighting. She realized Monique did probably have some mess in her. So, Charisse was just like, yeah, I'm going to talk to her when I talk to her. And I guess that made Robyn feel good because at least she can make Charisse see that Monique is not that good of a person. That still ain't got shit to do with how stupid you are, though. Now let's get to this CBC. It's this huge event, Giselle's going to be in the front, and it's all this networking opportunity. She is excited about being there. Robyn, of course, comes to support. Ashley shows up, and even Charisse makes it. We see Karen and Monique. I guess they're pre-gaming. They're going to be going on to the CBC together. But beforehand, Monique is still doing some finishing touches with her brother. He's working on her website, Not for Lazy Moms. The brother's telling her that might be offensive. Okay, here you are living high on the hog and everything, and it might start to look like you looking down on people and saying, I can do it. I don't want nobody who might be a fucking lazy mama following with me. So they're trying to make sure that they don't give off that type of message. But anyway, the CBC, Karen tells us, the CBC is a very important event. That's where I met Uncle Jessup 22 years ago. Child, they show a picture of her and Uncle Jessup. Child, they was living it up. I said, look at Karen catching an old pawpaw back then. Now, they do know that Giselle will be there. All right, and that might pose a little bit of problem. But Karen says, no, it ain't. I know how to control myself, and I won't need security. So they jump in the car. They make it to the CBC. Immediately when they get there, they start working the room. Go around talking to people, shaking hands and all of this. Robyn spots them across the room. Oh my God. Isn't that Monique and Karen over there? And the peanut gallery over there was like, yeah, that show is them. That show is them. How they gonna come in here and not say anything? Okay, bitch, maybe because we just had a big old confrontation the other day. Why you acting like you don't understand why they wouldn't want to talk to y'all? Robyn, because she's pumped up, she got that fucking look on her face, kind of smirks, and she's going to go over there and talk to him. But Ashley beats her over there. So Ashley is like, hey, you guys, what you guys doing here? Didn't you guys see that Giselle's booth was right there? They was like, Robyn says, how could you not see Giselle's booth? It's the first fucking booth that you see when you walk in. I don't understand why they would want to talk to him anyway. Oh my God. They are so fucking tiring. So damn exhausting. Karen and Monique was like, look, we are at the CBC. We are really not about to cause no scene here. You know what? We just gonna walk away. Robyn was like, oh, don't run. And Karen was like, I don't run, I walk. I mean, here we are. This is a for real official event. And you guys are still trying to cause a scene. Damn it, you already know that these situations usually end in argument. So why would you, Giselle, trying to pump up your makeup and push that, and why would you even chance something like this happening with y'all stupid asses? I cannot stand Giselle and Robyn. They're the most tiring, exhausting tag team, evil ass mean bitches. They are something else. Well, I guess Robyn is so, she is just so pleased with herself, goes back over there and telling Candace and Charisse, how they purposely avoided Giselle. I'm just like, ah. And then they tell Charisse that she still has to talk to Monique. I mean, what the fuck is this? You guys ordering this girl to say something? Charisse was like, I'll talk to her in my own damn time. Now, Candace is listening like, well, shit. All I've heard is Monique ride for Charisse. Why is it that Charisse got a problem with Monique right now? Okay, so, Candace is still trying to sit back and peep game. I said, girl, you best to learn. Don't trust none of these hoes. And then we get this real random, strange little ending. Candice and Chris, they back at the house the next day. Candice's eyes is all swollen, red. She been crying. Her and Chris had a big fight. Let Candace tell it. She was just trying to tell Chris to help her, carry her purse while, she get herself situated and for him to call a fucking Uber so they can get picked up. But Chris said that she was having a diva moment, okay? That she was a fucking spoiled princess. And, the fact that she ordering him to hold her shoes and hold her purse and call for the damn Uber and all of this, he was just like, wait a minute, hold up. I know you with your friends and everything, and you know the cameras is around, and you trying to look all special and like, you know, I'm not gonna never be the one that you can order around like this. I don't give a fuck if you with your friends or not, okay, with your broke ass. She was just like, well, you know, the fact that he called her a spoiled princess and people been telling her that all her life, and you know she doesn't like to hear that. Okay, I guess that's one of her trigger words. It upsets her. Chris's thing was just like, if that's how you act, then that's how it's gonna be. I'm always gonna let you know when you cutting up. Okay, you forgot what you said to me, right? Okay, because I put it in my phone. You basically said your daddy ain't shit, never was shit, never gonna be shit, and you just like your damn daddy. She was just like, oh, did I say that? Yes, you said that. Okay, so while we sitting up here splitting hairs about who said the most offensive shit, maybe you would apologize to me? Okay, so they make up. This wasn't no damn fight that was gonna break them up. What was the whole purpose of this? I guess maybe it went on longer and longer, but just the last 5 minutes of the damn show, and not even 5 minutes, the last 3 minutes of the show, I was like, how random. All right, rock stars, that's it. Let me move on. Got to do claws. Okay, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.